Hi, everybody. Happy to have you here tonight with me in the locker room. I'm Alan Locher. My guest tonight is an actor whose career has taken him from Genoa City to Salem to Netflix, Hallmark, and now to the fictional world of Montecito. You know him as Ricky Williams on The Young and the Restless, Dimitri von Leuschner on Days of Our Lives, and from films like Roman Love and Dashing in December. He has also appeared in the Netflix hit Uncoupled and is now starring in the new audio drama Montecito as the brooding and complicated Deacon Granville. Please welcome to the locker room for the first time, Peter Porte. Hey, Peter.
Hi there. How's it going? Thanks for having me. Thanks for the warm welcome.
You're so welcome. Thanks for being here. I loved Montecito. Loved it.
Oh, I'm so glad you listened to it.
I did. Grant came to me early on to connect him with some people, and I was thrilled to. And really, from
I
the
understand
moment
that Grant, the two of you are friends. Is that right?
met through my show, really,
Oh, cool.
and
Okay.
he had reached out, and he had some ideas. He knew I was connected to Crystal and Vincent through my work on Guiding Light. I did PR on the show and grew up as a fan. So but the minute the show started, your voice, made for radio. Like, you just
really close to that microphone. Real close to that microphone. Yeah, I think that's how because otherwise I think I'm a little more peppy. When I even heard myself, I'm like, damn, wow, he's a very serious young man.
But as you can hear, so powerful.
Oh, good. All right, mission accomplished.
It really did. It really did. You're, like I said, you're playing Deacon Granville. What drew you to Deacon and to the audio format?
I had never heard of anything like it before. I thought it was so unique. I thought it was so fresh. I had just finished working on a soap opera, and I was still very much mentally in that world, and I missed it. And when they reached out, I thought, oh, is this like a brand new? Is this like a web series? He goes, not really, no. And when he described to me, the first thing I thought of was like these old timey radio hours where, someone walks across the stage and they've got actual, like an Annie, like they're tap shoeing across whatever. What's it called? Foley? I think it's called Foley. Anyway, and I didn't know what the process was like. And then we all got together, and very much like we're doing right now, we've got you, my co-star, across from me on the screen, and I've got a microphone real close to my face, and we are just very slowly working through all the dialogue with a lot of wonderful direction from our writers and directors, and then cobbled together this the show that you hear. But then the amount of post-production that they did on it was remarkable. They completely built this world. I feel like it was it was like Avatar. You're in the blue suits and you think that you're creating some semblance of a story, and then they put everything else on top of it, and that's what you hear. You hear the rain, you hear the filters that they put on our voices when we're far away or near. They fully painted this picture of Montecito, and it was very exciting to hear for the first time.
I love that, the way you describe it. Did you meet Grant on Days? Is that how you got involved?
No. It was afterwards. I don't think I'd met Grant on Days or any at the functions having to do with soaps, but I understand that he's within that world and has been for a very long time as well.
So how did you get involved in the show?
I'm trying to think of how. I think he might have reached out to my agent, and then they reached out to me. Yes, I think it was the old-fashioned way. Yeah.
Yeah, he knew who he really did. He knew a lot of who who his picks were for these characters, who he envisioned in his mind. And two of them, daytime legends, Vincent Irizarry and Crystal Chappelle, playing your parents.
Right.
What was that like?
It was awesome. I mean, I was familiar with their work somewhat ahead of time, and just to see us all, when you you see these characters and they're all glammed up and they're lit and they're very confident and very clear on what they're doing. And then when you get around a table for the first time reading things through, and we're all in like, glasses and pencils and PJs, being like, what? What are we going to do here? It's thrilling. It's very exciting to see everyone as like, we're all in this boat together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I love that. I love that Grant did it that way too. I think that was great.
Yeah. And then it was exciting for me to find out that my love interest on the show, I actually did know very loosely ahead of time. Mark played Gio, right?
Yeah.
And he, I have a cabin. I don't know for any of our listeners, nearby to Los Angeles, where I am calling in from, where I live, is a really charming little village that is about an hour outside of the city without traffic, and then a full mile or a half an hour straight up into the mountains, and it's called Lake Arrowhead, and it's really cute, and you can have snow. You can see snow within an hour and a half from LA in as early as October. I think we had snow last year. We get dumped on during the winters. All of this long-winded story to say that one night I was at the opening of a new like dive bar, because they've got these like real fun little hole in the wall pubs out there, because in the winter there's really not much else to do than drink and ski, I guess, or drink and ski at the same time. Don't do that. Anyway, I was having a drink.
Don't do that.
And at the table I was introduced. He's like, oh, I work on General Hospital. Oh, and he has a cabin up there too. So I had another friend out in the mountains that I was going to visit only this really when we were up there. And then lo and behold, he gets cast in this show as well, and we get to play lovers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, small world.
Great story too, playing lovers. And great names, Deacon Granville and Gio Carreri. I mean, great names that they created.
My favorite by far is now Gina. Bethany Gina. Bethany Gina is by far my favorite name in the show.
Yeah.
Something that really doesn't go very well together at first glance, but then it starts to, that's all you want to say, right? I only want to hear from Bethany Gina.
And Bethany Gina is M, right? M. Rylan?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I worked with M on Guiding Light.
Very cool.
So if you haven't listened to this series yet, it's currently available on all podcast platforms. It's on YouTube. The link for YouTube is down below right here. For those, Peter, who haven't listened, how would you describe and what can they expect from Montecito, the world of Montecito?
For those who haven't listened, Montecito is a glossy audio soap opera. It is as if you're watching your favorite soap, and what you can't see is described through voiceover or through sound effects. So it really, like I mentioned earlier, it paints a very, very vivid picture, even with your eyes closed. And he brought together a really awesome group of vocal artists to tell this story of a wealthy family who has a lot of secrets. One like explosive secret at the very end of the first episode. And the best part about it, watch it like when you're at the gym, watch it when you're walking the dog, or watch it while you're on your way commuting to work, because each episode is like 26 minutes. You can zip through this so fast. It's a really fun, light, very soapy, good time.
Before you ended up in Genoa City, Salem, Montecito, had you watched soaps yourself?
No, not really. No, I didn't.
Okay.
My mom is from Poland, and I don't think that soaps were necessarily very popular there. I don't think they had a lot of daytime programming, or at least that I knew of, that she knew of. So growing up, it was never on. And I think that's sort of how most people that I know that grew up watching soaps were introduced to it through a grandmother or a grandfather or a mother that was home watching them during the day, and that it was already established as very important to them. And you're like, well, this is important to them. It's going to be important to me too. That's how my friends that are still like interested in soaps, that's how they were introduced to it.
My mother's from Holland, and she learned to speak English watching the two shows that I ended up
Oh,
working on.
oh wow, I love that.
Yeah.
No
So
way.
yeah, you are absolutely 100% correct. I mean, it
Yeah,
really, for the most part, is passed down generation to
that's
generation.
so beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
what other?
it
There's
really
nothing else
is.
on television. I get that with music, with musicians, but the legacy that soaps hold, and I think the double meanings that they offer families, which I think that Hallmark has been able to really capture too, where it's not so much even about the show, it's about the tradition of the show being on either at a certain time of year or a certain time of the day, where the show means, okay, we're taking a break. Okay, we can sit down for a minute. We can watch this all together. That's, I think, one of the major beauties of the tradition of soaps. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. We were talking backstage. You grew up in Greenwood Lake, outside of border of New York and New Jersey. You studied at NYU. You studied at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts, and dove into this incredible career. But is it true you have wanted to do this since like third grade?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, yes. Well, sorry. I didn't just have a stroke. I was very enthusiastic about my answer. That's all. I, I think I always wanted to perform. I loved watching old Hollywood movies. I loved musicals as a little boy. Yeah, I always wanted to perform, and then, but it was fun. It was tricky because I came from a very small family, so there weren't a ton of people to watch me perform besides my begrudging sister. And I also lived in a very small town, so there weren't a ton of opportunities to perform in. It wasn't really until when I got into high school that I was able to like start doing shows. The lovely thing about living so close, as you know, because you're not too far line, that I asked. Can you see me? Okay, good.
I can.
I asked,
Yeah.
you can see, great. I asked, you're in Northern Jersey. What mall are you next to? Because that's how I feel like Northern Jersey better, which mall? Because that's all we did.
Or what exit?
Or what exit? Exactly. Yes. Or what exit? So it wasn't until I was in high school, and then since I was in such close proximity to New York, that I got to see some shows. Yeah, I think that's where I got the bug from.
Do you remember your
Yes.
first
My first show on Broadway. Yeah, I
seeing?
saw Les Mis,
Wow.
and I saw it at like 10, and it blew my mind. And I still remember being in the audience, and my mom said, "Yeah, you were." No, I was 8. I was 8, and I saw Les Mis, and I was only 8-year-old. That was like, oh, I wish there was a third act. Like that show is already so fucking long. Sorry, so long, and I couldn't get enough of it. And maybe that was when she knew that this is going to be what I'm going to be pursuing.
Yeah, there was no stopping you.
There you go.
Yeah, I love that. Even though you always, considered yourself an actor, but you started modeling first, Milan, Paris. What did you learn from that time, and did you enjoy the modeling part?
Yeah. Oh, I loved it. Yeah, I was living in New York, and I was going to grad school, but I was going at night. So during the day, I was going to auditions, and I was just running around, and I got scouted, and then I went to Milan and I did show season, and it's awesome. It's a wonderful means to travel. It is not a wonderful means as a male model at that age in Europe to make money, as it turns out. I think that there is a misconception, as to like it being a wildly lucrative avenue, but it can be, not necessarily. In most cases, the agencies will take like 60% to 80% of what you're making, and they're also fronting you your lifestyle. So you get there and they're paying for your housing. They often pay for your food. They often pay for your transportation to get you around the city, and then you slowly pay it back. So if you leave with any money during one of your first seasons, it's a miracle. But so you don't go for that. You go for this wild experience of just being really young and inexperienced and getting to see the world in a semi structured, safe environment, because they're very much, or at least I had this experience where they took care of a lot of us. They took, it was like going to a different country at a young age and having a pseudo parent there with us. So yes, to a long-winded answer again, I got to fill up.
Traveling though, I think at a young age,
I did really love it because I got to see the world at a young age, and more than anything, more than acting. So I got to do that straight off the bat out of school.
Favorite city that you were able to travel to?
Italy. I mean, whenever I'm in Italy, I love staying in Milan. I loved Rome. Paris is wonderful to work in, but and to just have no plans whatsoever and just walk around aimlessly. And then I used to shoot for a ton of like, I have always looked a little older than I am, I think, and now I think I've even
now you look your age.
Now I look my age, but I've always looked like this. I mean, when I was 28, I looked like this. So they would have me with a wife and a 16-year-old daughter shooting together, right? And I did a lot of campaigns for hotels. So there would be like an opening of a hotel in Dubai, or the opening of a hotel in Bora Bora, or and so those were very fun jobs, because they're just capturing content of you on vacation. Sign up for those jobs, kids.
I wish. That's amazing. Yeah, I love that. From that early time, NYU and RADA, and to directors you've worked with or agents, who has shaped you or mentored you along the way? Who do you look to and say, you couldn't have done it without them?
Oh, there's so many. I've worked with some really wonderful directors and producers, incredible writers. Angela Mancuso is a dear friend of mine. I've done 3 movies with her at Hallmark. I think those that champion you, that like recognize, oh, not only are you doing your job, but we like working together. I think that sometimes in this industry, it really just pays to like get on your report card is a pleasure to work with, or is easy to work with, because that sometimes goes a really long way. I think when you're in this pressure cooker of, we got to get this shit done in less than 2 weeks. We got to make a movie, or in the case with soaps, like, we got to get this entire episode plus a quarter of another episode done today. So please just do your job. But that'll aside, Angel Mancuso is amazing. All my family at Baby Daddy, Dan Berenson, Heidi Clemens, Melissa Peterman. I think that coming into that whole sitcom environment, having never done one before, and getting to work with people that have done hundreds of episodes worth of it at that point was an education. I loved that. I feel very fortunate because in my, not extensive career, but my steady career, I've been able to work on projects that have rarely been one-offs. And I get to go back, and that, I think, is usually the case in this town. You're very lucky if you get to like go back and work with the same people over and over and over, and it becomes like this almost theater camp, right? Or troupe, that you get to do different projects with the same team. And so that I have had the great fortune of doing.
Blessed. Absolutely. Well, you joined your first soap in 2011, Young and the Restless. What do you remember?
long ago. Wow. Okay. Yeah. What do I
What do you
remember?
remember about your audition for that role, the role of Ricky?
I remember that I was auditioning with Doug Davidson, who ended up playing my father, Paul.
I grew
And
up watching Paul. I
oh
remember.
yeah, he's great,
Yeah.
great guy, wonderful actor, and I think that we got each other immediately. And sometimes the whole point of these, um, excuse me, chemistry reads is to see like how do you play with one another. Can will I believe that you are a father and son duo, having never met each other before these last 3 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And we had a natural connection. It was very easy. I Sometimes you're lucky in an audition and you're like, man, that could not have gone better. And and then like, James Vanderbeek gets it or something like there, then those things might happen, or like they went with a blonde. But when you can leave saying, oh, they ate it up. They loved it. I loved it. I'm so happy with how that went. And so that was how that audition went for me.
Well, that's how
Very
you
few go
should
like that.
walk out of it. You should always feel,
You
if you
should.
can,
I don't
feel
know
that way.
if you can. Yes, that's the
Yeah,
key.
if you can. And it's even then it's not guaranteed, but walking
Right.
out and feeling like you did it spot
Yeah.
on is how it should go. Did you have any idea what you were getting into by joining it? As you described, you're doing sometimes a full show and another half of a show. And did you have any idea what daytime was like before stepping foot in Genoa
No.
City?
No, not at all. No. I mean, I had done a handful of guest stars at that point where I understood that I had 7 takes, and then they're going to get my wide coverage and then my close-up coverage and as many takes as we needed before, they wanted to go to lunch. But that was what I had been that was what I was used to. And so when we had basically a bit of a rehearsal, and then we shot we that was it. There was a rehearsal and then we shoot it. And there's no coverage. That is, I mean, we've got 3 cameras. You better be paying attention to where they are. And so you learn, it's trial by fire. Isn't that the turn of phrase? You're thrown into
Yeah.
the pool. And luckily in that case, I was surrounded by really supportive, seasoned actors like Doug and like Michelle Stafford, who played my boss, that they kind of will pick you up and move you around like a piece of chess
A few
in the beginning.
talented people.
Yeah, a few talented people, right?
I mean, Michelle is a hoot, isn't she?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is also a very long time ago, but she made an impression on me. Doug certainly made an impression on me, and everyone there was really lovely. The whole production team was really kind. And then the story about, I think, Greg probably, where briefly after I started on on Young and the Restless, I started playing in a sports league in West Hollywood, and Greg was also on Young and the Restless and was also playing dodgeball with me, and we connected there after like one of the games, and we're like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if we got to work together on the show? And in the year or so that I was on Young and the Restless, I think we shared 1 or 2 lines where I asked for a beer and he ignored me. And I always thought like, oh, what a waste, what a bummer, that would have been so fun. Then cut to 10 years
That's
later.
wild. I was
many
wondering. I was going to ask
later.
because I watched a clip of when you were on Days, and Greg referred that you two had known each other a long time.
Oh yeah. We
Yeah.
know, and because we stayed friends ever, once I left Young and the Restless, we were friends up until the day that I got the role of Dimitri, or at the time when I first got it Beyond Salem, he was known as Graham, Agent Graham, Kyle Graham, who then, if you're not familiar with the show, it's revealed that he is a Eastern European spy sent to take over the world, naturally.
Of course he is.
So he's actually Dimitri von Leuschner. Almost. You were very close with the last name.
Right. And
Nobody
I
gets
meant
it
to ask
right.
before.
People on the
I
show
always try
don't
to
get it
ask
right.
before the show what the pronunciation.
It's all good. Yes, von Leuschner. Von Leuschner, who's apparently, my mother is Megan Hathaway, who is a Demera, and she just hooked up with some other aristocrat in Europe, and that's where the name comes from. But I guess I don't know if you're too familiar with the history. Is there's a character named Katerina, and she's also a von Leuschner. Okay, well then don't worry. I might not even be right. She's my cousin. She's my cousin, I think.
She's my cousin. My long lost cousin.
I think she was
How did the
buried
role of
alive.
Dimitri or Graham come? Was it Graham you said?
Graham, yeah, Kyle Graham. Yeah.
Kyle Graham. How did that part come about? The audition, was that anything like? Did you have to do it with somebody there as well?
Oh, that's an interesting question. All right, so since I started auditioning in Hollywood, I went in to meet the most lovely casting director you will ever meet. Marnie is her name.
I've heard many people refer to Marnie that way.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think I've ever met a casting director who is as invested in her actors' performances as she is, to the point where, and you know how many characters are necessary in casting a soap. Yeah. She memorizes every single scene so that she never has to look down. So she doesn't have a reader. She's the reader and the executive, the head casting director, and she has the entire scene memorized. So she is lasered in with you and never leaves your eyes the entire time. So not only is she giving you like full acting with a capital A, soap, brilliant daytime Emmy acting, but also like like the way that her brain works, she's also watching the scene and seeing what you're doing. She can do both at the same time. So I've been coming to see her for years and years. And I tested for EJ when EJ was being replaced. I tested for Leo before Leo was Greg Rikaart. I tested for, did I test for anything? Anyway, and so I was like, I think, floating around the ether of that studio as like, I don't know, maybe at some point we'll bring this guy in and maybe he can have a few lines. And then this spin-off came about, and it was an offer. No audition, just an offer, which was awesome. Because, I probably had auditioned 12 or 13 times for other roles. So that was my audition.
She knew. She had it stuck in here.
I hope.
She definitely had it stuck in there. And then you end up working with Greg Rikaart.
I know, my heart, my angel, Greg Rikaart, the best in the game. Yeah, he's wonderful. I feel, again, I was mentioning earlier about like people that are mentors or supported you. I don't know that I've necessarily had like a major they can all be mentors in a certain way, but the peers that I have are so special. Like I can't imagine. I feel very lucky, is what I'm saying. I can't imagine that in most acting experiences, and almost all of them for me, I've gone on to like want to hang out with my co-stars, and they've become very, very good friends. You just hear all these terrible stories about not getting along with your co-stars. I couldn't imagine. That sucks.
Sucks.
But it happens all the time.
Yeah. And going to any job where you don't enjoy it.
What a bummer, right? So
Absolutely.
I love Greg. I don't know if you know Emily O'Brien, who plays Gwen Rizchek on the show, but
they were on. They were on about a week ago to talk about their Emmy nomination.
I know. Oh my gosh, what a splash. Like, I feel as if the entire cast was nominated. How wonderful. I know and love so many. Lindsay Gottfried, Greg got a nomination. Who else got nominated? It was a bunch of people.
Paul Telfer.
I love Paul.
Eric Martzoff, Emily, Ashley Puzimis, who I think is newer. Annalyn McCord.
Annalyn McCord. Yeah. What a wonderful splash that show made this year. I'm so
well, and your story was sort of groundbreaking, where Leo and Gwen were fighting over the same man.
I know. Scandalous, right? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I don't know that it has been done before on soap. I'm sure it has on some soap. Let us know.
Well,
But to have this
I
like
don't,
bisexual
not
love triangle.
not game, not not somebody fighting over. Yeah,
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think so. And um, yeah, it was fun to be a part of that. It felt very natural to have a story like this on a soap, to be honest with you. Like, why wouldn't you have the wildest possible scenario come true? And so we couldn't have had more fun playing out those scenes.
Well, I mean, it's kind of
In
like
Iceland.
Montecito, you're married,
Yeah.
but Geo
Oh my God, am I
was
becoming a type? I'm getting typecast as the like
Geo was part of was
broody,
part of your life.
closeted husband. Oh no.
Well, talk about that though. As a gay man, does it have a personal impact to be a part of stories that reflect, authentic representation, and also, working opposite an other openly gay actor? I mean, that sounds unheard of years ago.
Yeah, yeah. I have to like remind myself that it was unheard of because it feels so right and natural. Why wouldn't you? Right? But it wasn't, and I can't be ignorant to that. I think it's very important. I think that all stories. How should I put this? I think that to have these stories reflected back as a viewer to me is important, and to kids that might be watching this show with their grandmas and grandpas, I think it's very important and very exciting that they get to see that something that's really important to an older generation is reflecting them. Mm-hmm. If they happen to be queer, I think that's awesome. And that they can watch them still loving it. I think that's really exciting. And then as far as working with another out gay actor, it's cool. It's great. I mean, Greg, that's all I want to do is work with Greg. He's the best. He's awesome.
He's a good guy. I mean, that's the thing. Like you said, nice people makes a world of difference.
Nice people, but also people that like really care. I can't imagine going to a show. Greg's been doing this for 25 years, where it's very fast paced. It sometimes can feel a little Groundhog's Day, even though it's, you're telling fresh stories, but there's a repetition to it, right? Mm-hmm. And every day that I get to set Greg, Emily, Paul, Eric, all these actors, they are still deeply invested in what they're doing, and there isn't really a lot of time, but they'll still call us on the little phone. We all have little like rotary phones in our rooms. I don't know if they're necessarily rotary phones. They might as well be. I'm like, what is this? When was this bought? It must be 40 years old. And we call me like, you want to come to my room? You want to come to my room? And we get together, and it's like college, and we just run lines. It feels like we're back in theater school. And we like come up with bits, and we come up with different, how are we going to make this sing? Because they've given us a lot of fun material, but in most cases, as is the case with soaps, it's all dialogue. There's very little action, because we got to keep this train moving. There's no time to. We're not horses. This isn't Game of Thrones. There's not going to be a fight sequence that's going to take up 40 minutes at the episode. Not. It's just talking. So how do we then make that sing? What kind of little bits? What kind of mischievous little things can we do to make it different or interesting? And that's one of the greatest things about working with Greg, is that he cares so deeply about making it sing.
Well, and it starts from the top. I mean, he shared on his new podcast, Soapy, Deirdre Hall was on as a guest.
Legend Deirdre Hall.
Yeah. And they were talking like she calls him, the night before they have scenes, and they work on scenes, and I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
impressive.
You know, talk about still caring, making
Right.
it, wanting it to work.
I think it's so important, and it's funny. I've been on sets where it's just a gig. You know, it's a paycheck, and you show up, you hit your marks, you say your lines, and you go. And there's not even. I've been on sets where I didn't shake hands with the person I was talking. You know, I didn't. There was really no. That wasn't of any importance.
Yeah, no
And that's
interaction.
okay. Not every gig is, a family reunion. It doesn't have to be. It's fine. But I do feel very fortunate that the time that I spend at Days often is.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of that, Days turned 60 in November.
Yeah.
What has it
Happy birthday.
meant to be a part of that legacy for you?
It's exciting. It's exciting because, I think that there are, as an actor, I think that there are some kind of like touchstones that would be very exciting to hit, to like play a show in Vegas, to, I guess for, if you're a musician, to play Carnegie Hall or to play the Hollywood Bowl and for me, Soap was always one of those because it was this institution, this legacy that might not be around much longer, and to have the opportunity, the honor to be on one that has lasted this long. I'm glad to have had that opportunity before perhaps they go away. And who knows? This is a very fickle town, so I'm so glad that they got picked up for another 2 years. So there's even more time to take something that is so well established and to still adjust it for the times, which the show is really good at continuing to do, I think, to like reflect what's going on in the times while still honoring this tradition of what people show up every day to watch. The fact that they were able to transition to streamers is crazy.
Crazy.
And they brought their audience with them. And I have friends at Peacock Marketing. They're like, it is one of the biggest shows still. One of their biggest money makers. I mean, I don't know if it's one of their big money makers, but it's one of their most viewed shows.
Most viewed shows, which is spectacular.
Very exciting. Yeah.
100%. 100%. Are you comfortable talking about your coming out? Was it a difficult process for you?
It wasn't. I think that there's always and there still was a stigma when this was all happening in the early aughts, right? Of that in Hollywood, you're not going to have the same opportunities if you're openly gay as you would if you were closeted. Period. That was facts.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And so there was a hesitation around it and this fear that I was going to lose out on opportunities. I even wonder now if once that's a question. I still am not, I'm on the fence as to, do I have as many opportunities to play straight characters as I did before I was openly gay? I don't know. Jury's out on that.
Would you want to not be openly gay?
I don't know if that would be possible.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is a fascinating
the modern
thing.
world.
I hope it's not an issue. It should not.
I really do. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. But I think that we as humans, I don't know, we like to put people in boxes, and once we put them in those boxes, sometimes it's hard to take them out and to put them in different boxes. I think that perhaps sometimes we have that difficult time but then, you know what? Jonathan Bailey is a wonderful example of like a risk I think Hollywood takes as like saying, no, he can do what, he can play this straight love interest. He can do, and he does it beautifully. So maybe we have come, I think that we certainly have come a long way. I don't know, we're fully there. I think we're still like finding our way through the woods, but we're making great progress.
Sadly, there's ups and downs. Sadly, some steps backwards that should not be happening.
Especially today. Yes.
Yeah.
certainly.
W-
But
What what was representation like for you growing up? Where did you see, like, what do you recall, like, was certain shows, movies?
oh, well, there wasn't much that, and if it was, this is an interesting question because the only people that were doing it really was like HBO or Showtime. So you already have to pay to see that, right? And then if it's HBO, it's going to be like Oz, which, their gay storylines were a little much
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
16-year-old. Where I'm
yeah.
like, oh God, these are my options. Shit. Okay. Or Queer as Folk, which was revolutionary and very exciting for the time, but also depicted a very specific,
Culture.
stereotype culture of like privileged Canadian gay men and white, it was a
Yeah,
very, and so, um, but like, thank God for these shows that were even broaching the subject, right? And so I
yeah.
definitely was sneaking downstairs in my home to like watch Queer as Folk. Absolutely, yes. So that was probably my first. And then, of course, I learned what being gay was predominantly, as I think a lot of men my age, from four very important women: Carrie,
Yeah.
Samantha, Miranda, and Charlotte, who were, I don't fully agree with this, but like there's an argument that like, oh yeah, those are just gay archetypes that they're all playing, and it was a show written by gay men for gay men, just with the facade of these four women. I don't know about all that, but I loved that show. And I think that, like, as far as humor goes and fashion and New York and blah, 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 I loved watching that show as a kid.
100%. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
much older than you, and there was nothing on TV.
No, no. I'm trying to think. I mean, now, actually, you know what I remember? I remember the first time, and I was much older. I must have been like 24, 25, where like the first episode of Glee came on. And I think, God, can you imagine being a kid and having that? And then I recognized, wow, it really is important. That was the first moment that representation resonated to me, that this is
Me too.
very
You're
important.
gonna make me cry because I watched that from beginning to end because of that
Yeah.
reason. And towards the end, my husband was like, I don't really like it anymore. But because I had nothing growing up, like I was like,
Right.
I'm going to support this because every little kid having this in their living room, and especially like
Yeah.
Chris Colfer's character Kurt and his dad, like,
Hmm.
that was really eye-opening, I think,
Groundbreaking.
for kids across America who needed to see themselves. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so true. And your husband is not in this business, is that correct?
No, but he's adjacent because he's from New Orleans. That's what the joke is, that, he's more fun. He's more gregarious. He likes to put on costumes more than I do because that's what
Yeah,
they
I mean,
do
New
there.
Orleans, what a great place to be from. My
Oh,
God.
it's the best. What a dream. I'm envious of anyone who gets to call that their home
Yeah.
there, and that to say that that's where I'm from. It's the best city, I think, in the country. It's amazing. And we
Yeah.
travel there regularly.
I
It's awesome.
God, it's been a few years. I would love to go, and I don't think I've been with my husband. He got to do his bachelor party there with straight and gay people.
Oh wow, wild. We
Yeah,
got married there.
he had a good time. Mel was asking, would you like to do a Broadway show?
Yeah, you know one? You know someone hiring? I'd love to. I'm there. Yes,
Do you have a
absolutely.
dream?
Yes.
Do you have a dream Broadway
I don't
role?
know. I used to, and I think I've out I've aged out of, like, I always wanted to play Bobby, or in Company, but now I think I'm a bit too old. Um there I'm trying to think of what I saw recently that I loved. No, I don't think I have a dream role anymore. Um because it hasn't been written yet. I don't know. No, but I was just in New York. I saw um Sunset Boulevard, which I thought was
So
spectacular.
jealous. That
So
killed me
good.
that I didn't see her.
I saw Parade here in Los Angeles recently, and it was so good. I'm seeing Shucked in a couple weeks,
Oh, I heard
which
that
I'm
was
very
great.
excited
Who's
about.
in
Yeah.
Parade?
Forgive me, I don't know their names.
Is that the one Ben Platt did in New York?
It's the one that Ben Platt did in New York.
I saw that in New York.
What's her
I
name?
enjoyed that a lot.
Diamond. I forget her first name. Last
Oh
name.
yeah. She's been in so many.
Michaela. Yeah. What's that?
She's been in a lot of television lately.
Yeah, she did that American Horror Story, right?
Yeah.
Where she played the nun. She was fabulous.
Yeah,
she's
fabulous.
So good. But a new cast, incredible. Oh, wow. So good. And Michael Arden directed it, who is so talented, and everything he touches is gold. And yeah, so I saw that, and I'm going to see Shucked, and there's a bunch of I mean, I think that right now is a golden age for Broadway. There's so much new original work and great plays. And I don't know, I think this is a correct fact that, like, this is the most watched Tonys. This is the most money that Broadway has pulled in profits in the last 5-6 years. So it's on an uptick, and it's exciting. It's very exciting.
Great. There's really nothing. Talk about, you talked briefly earlier, Hallmark and Lifetime movies, and I love that you did Dashing in December with one of my favorites, Juan Pablo Pache.
I love Juan Pablo.
Such a talented guy.
He's great. Yeah, he's wonderful. His movie, if you before.
I saw that you went to see that.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's so good. If the audience has a chance to see it, go see this movie. It is so beautiful. It's a Juan wrote it. I think that he stars in it, and it is based on a true story of his life, his experience when he was going to this I don't know how to describe it besides like a UN of middle school, where all of these best ofs win these scholarships to go to this school from all over the world. And so all of these amazing students it's like Hogwarts. It's wild, this school that he went to. And he has his first love. It is gorgeous. It's such a beautiful movie. Before we forget, but it's called something else in Spanish, like Dueño,
Dueño.
Yes. Yeah. But look up either that.
Oh, so I didn't realize it's the same movie. It is?
Yeah. Yes.
I was wondering that. Gotcha. Because he was
on my internationally, it's Dueño. And then Before We Forget is what they're calling it in the US. But it is one and the same movie. Incredible. I think that it had its premiere in New York a couple of weeks ago, and then a premiere in LA just recently. And I got to see him while he was in town. Oh, it was so good.
He came on to talk about it when it was doing a festival, but it was Duino when he spoke to me, so I didn't know how to. Gotcha. I have to find that. I hope to see that. Do you like doing those types of movies?
I do. I love it. I love the pace of it. These movies we usually do in 2 or 3 weeks. 3 weeks, most of the Hallmark Christmas movies, because the setups are so big. The biggest character in a Hallmark movie is the set deck. All of that snow,
Christmas tree or
Christmas trees. It takes them hours, and every inch is covered with like beautiful decorations, which I love. To see in August, whenever we usually shoot them is like June, July, and August in Vancouver. I love doing those movies. I love, again, being part of something that is a once a year tradition that families hold, that they all get together and it puts them in a happy mood. It's escapism. It's beautiful. It's a predictable, happy ending, which I think often is kind of poo-pooed. When we need them right now. I think they're really important. I think that happy endings are very important. I think laughing is very important. I just went and saw Naked Gun last night. It's so funny. It's so dumb. And I thought, I haven't seen a comedy in the theaters for such a long time, because I don't know, they just don't make as many.
And I agree,
and
laughter
we
is
need
really
them.
the best.
Oh my God, it's so funny. It's so funny. What was I saying?
Do you have
But I
a
do very much
go-to
love those
holiday
movies.
movie?
Sorry?
Do you have a
Do I
go-to
have a
holiday movie for you? Your fave?
No, I don't. This is terrible because if I watch something, if I like truly going to see Naked Gun was a rare occurrence for me because I almost exclusively 90% of the time, besides watching like White Lotus or whatever is deeply in the zeitgeist that everyone is watching, I am always watching a horror movie. I watch any horror that comes out, everyone. That's my big passion. And sadly, I've never done one. That's even more so than doing a Broadway show, I think is I dream of doing a horror movie. I'd love to, which is very off brand for Hallmark, but I've tried to pitch it.
Do you know Adam Huss?
Yeah. I do.
Because he and his husband they love horror too. You should.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I think we talked about that once. Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
The Adams.
I watched a few of the short ones they did. They were great.
Oh, cool.
They were great.
I should connect with him on that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't have a favorite Christmas movie. No.
Well, what's your favorite horror?
Ooh, that's tough. There's so many. I like The Final Girls. I like The Ritual. I just watched one called what was it called? The Stepsister, The Ugly Stepsister, which was really wonderful. And it's all told from her point of view. And the ugly stepsister in Cinderella is trying to do whatever she can to make herself beautiful. And it's like a body horror. It's great. I loved The Substance last year. I thought that was incredible.
The Demi, right? Demi
yeah,
Moore?
Yeah.
Does your husband like them as much as you?
No, not at all. He likes rom-coms. He likes comedies. He likes the Gilded Age.
Me too. That's
Downton Abbey. Yeah.
Me too.
I mean, I like those too. But in most cases, he laughs at me because I'll go to bed watching Shudder, which is I think AMC owns Shudder, and it's like just horror. He goes, "How do you fall asleep today?" This is my mother's milk. This is
in today's world. I don't know. This is
melatonin.
Wow.
Oh, because it's so it's like pure fantasy, you know.
You've got to do one.
I would love to. I got to write one. I'm working on one.
I was going to ask, do you write? Thinking
I do. I'm not great. I think any actor that's like, oh, I'm getting into writing, good luck. Get into dentistry. Get into, fighter piloting. It's a completely different beast. It's so people go to college specifically to, get their masters in playwriting, in screenwriting. So it's very difficult. I've taken classes. I'm learning, but bravo to any actor that turns around and whips out a script because it is so hard. Well done.
Yeah, that's so true. Mel says you'd be a super scary killer on American Horror Story. You'd make a great killer.
I agree, Mel. I agree.
Do you watch that?
Is Ryan Murphy listening right now? Maybe if he pipes in.
I wish. Do you watch
Let him know.
Horror Story?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I haven't I'm not caught up, but I'll pop in and pop out. Yes. I think they're great. I love all that whole theater camp that he's built with Kathy Bates and who else is in that? Paulson.
Early on,
Jessica Lange. Yes. All those people are amazing. Angela Bassett. Yeah.
Amazing. What was Uncoupled like? I loved that show. I was sad it didn't get picked up.
It was great. I got to shoot in New York. It was funny. The scene that takes place in my bedroom was in the apartment above the one that I lived in while I was at NYU. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Wild.
Did you know when you pulled up?
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about it. I just now when do we look at anything? We're just like boop, boop, into maps, boop, boop. And then I got there and I realized, holy shit, this is and you also don't even realize that you're running on rote memory, and then you
Yeah.
just get into the elevator, and then I realize, oh my God, I didn't even check in um, with hair and makeup or the first AD. I just let myself in, because and so it was great. Neil Patrick Harris is amazing. It was really fun to watch him work because he's the executive producer, or one of the executive producers, I believe, or producer, I don't know, on the show. And but he's also an actor, so you watch him wearing both hats, and he's in the scene with you, and he's also making sure that he's like, can we get different napkins here? These look cheap, let's do something else here, and so that's fun. That was fun. But then the craziest thing was they had to break it into two like stints, because in one of the big scenes in this gallery, we all got COVID, because it was still kind of coming out of COVID. And so we had to stop filming, wait 2 weeks, and then all come back to film the rest of it. That light just went on. It's not a poltergeist. It's my dog. He's going in and out of his little room behind me.
I don't buy that. It's
a poltergeist. Got you.
Yeah, House of Horrors. Are you doing a new podcast now?
I am. We're trying it on for size, because, right, who's not? I wanted to get in on it. It looked like fun. So my dear friend Melissa Peterman and Chris Voth are brilliant human beings, very funny. And Chris would watch us just shoot the shit, and he says, I bet that I can like kind of edit this into something fun, and I think that people would be interested in hearing what you've got to say. And I disagreed strongly with him, but he won me over. And he's an incredible stand-up comedian out of Denver, and Melissa and he met working like doing stand-up together. And Melissa and I, obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but we met on Baby Daddy, and we were married on that show for 3 seasons. And so we've started the Melissa Peterman show. And I think we're going to actually record something right after I get off the phone with you guys. And it's been really fun so far. Even if we don't get anywhere, like we joke about, no one's listening to this. But we just love that we have this little coffee talk date once a week for 45 minutes where we just talk about a new topic or whatever is going on in our lives. And it forces us to hang out. It's kind of like this. I've already forgotten that anyone is. I hope no one's watching this. This is just nice to get to know you. It's been a pleasure.
It is fun. You get, it's really fun. You're talking with your friends.
Yeah. And there's an intimacy that comes with it, because there's no one around that, like, I bet people can get into trouble, because they start to forget that there are just ears everywhere, and
totally.
You're just
totally
smart. Yeah. It's good,
and they say things not intentionally,
unfiltered,
they might not,
right?
Should. Right. Do you have a preference, like comedy, drama? I know horror would be the
I love comedy. Horror is the choice, although I've never done one, so I could be shit at it. But I'd like to watch it. But no, comedy is my favorite, and then drama is wonderful, and I love that I get to do a little bit of both on days when I'm there. Days of Our Lives when I'm there. And even I try to put as much comedy as they'll let me into the Hallmark stuff, because I think that's the direction that network is going into, is that they want it to be all well-rounded, and they want to bring in as many audience, as a diverse of an audience as they possibly can. And so bringing the comedy in is, if I can, I'll do it. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite comedy?
No. Yeah, I guess I do. Do I have a favorite? I love Drop Dead Gorgeous. I think that's a very, very funny comedy. I loved all the Naked Guns. I like big, broad, dumb comedy. I love Bridesmaids. I loved.
Oh my God, that was.
What was it that she did recently? Something Stupid. Is it called Something Stupid? No.
Oh, Kristen. Is that Kristen Wiig?
No. Although I did love what's it called? Palm Royale.
Oh, are you
That just
talking
came out.
Melissa?
No, man, forget it. What? Who was in all of the Hunger Games? I'm blanking out. Jennifer Lawrence did this movie 2 years ago. Something stupid or something. It is so funny. I just watched on a plane the other day. It doesn't matter. I promise you,
It doesn't matter.
But it's a funny movie. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Well, tell everybody the Melissa Peterman podcast available where all podcasts.
Yeah, yes, and on YouTube. And there are links to it on my Instagram, which is at Pete Porte, not Peter Porte, but Pete Porte. Find us there. There's other fun stuff that's coming up close in the pipeline, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. But for fans of other things that I've done, it's in that realm. And that was so vague and weird, but maybe you'll get it, maybe not. It doesn't matter. But
I got it.
And then I'm also doing a play. I'm doing a play in LA, which I haven't done in a very long time, and it's a Pinter play, and we've been rehearsing it for the last week and a half, and it will be in August in Los Angeles. If you are around, definitely check it out. I'll start putting more marketing out on the socials. It's called Betrayal. It's a three-hander. It's a Harold Pinter play that he wrote in the late 70s. It's been done with incredible actors over the last couple of decades, and we're trying a little something different with it, and I'm really loving it.
Oh, that's
it's
awesome.
Such a different process from anything else
When
I've
was
done
the
for the
time
last
you were on
like
stage?
decade. I work with this theater company in Los Angeles called the For the Record Theater Company, and the last show I did with them must have been 5 years ago, before COVID.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's been a very
So
long
that's
time.
fun.
So wish me luck.
Break a leg, break a leg.
Yeah.
Peter, thanks so much for doing this. Such a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, likewise. I'm glad that we got this in the books. I appreciate you having me on. Thanks for all the great questions, and thanks for everyone who tuned in.
Anytime. Reach back out. And if you want, email me the stuff about Betrayal and I'll put it up.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Very good.
You're welcome. Stay well.
All righty. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you to Peter Porte for taking the time out of your day to spend it with us. Real life couple Susan Walters and Lyndon Ashby will join me in 2 weeks on Monday, August 18th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about The Young and the Restless Emmy nominations, how they met on ABC's Loving, their work behind the camera, and life off screen. If you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can do so down below. Turn on the notifications for reminders of all upcoming shows. And if you liked tonight's episode, please click the like button. It always helps. And if you like to stream audio versions, remember you can search The Locker Room on your favorite podcast app. Stay safe, everybody. Please have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you soon. Thank you, sir.